Recently, entrepreneur Brian Johnson announced his plan for a global movement called Don't Die. In this perfect future, people simply stop dying because preventive medicine gets so advanced that aging itself becomes optional. On paper, it sounds amazing. Imagine living past 100 as a standard, and then watching scientists push further and further, searching for a path to literal immortality. The dream of never dying, finally within reach. But here's the problem, that vision doesn't match the world we live in right now, not even close. Most of us can't afford medical checkups every month. We don't have biometric sensors implanted in our skin or chefs preparing anti-aging meals in our kitchens. We're just trying to pay rent, keep up with work, and maybe sleep 6 hours without scrolling ourselves into insomnia. The idea of immortality clashes with the reality of inflation, broken healthcare systems, and people who can't even afford basic dental care. How can we talk about living forever when millions can't afford to live well today? Pension funds are already in deficit. Governments can't balance today's retirements, let alone an entire generation of centenarians. Will the system just magically stretch itself to cover double the lifespan? Of course not. Or maybe the plan is to put everyone back to work? Imagine applying for a job at 92, competing with someone who's 23 and will accept half the pay. Companies already prefer cheaper younger workers with so-called fresh energy. It's easy to fantasize about a future where nobody dies, but no one wants to talk about the economics of it. Who pays for it? Who hires the people who never retire? And what happens to those of us who already feel obsolete long before science finds a cure for aging? Of course, we can fantasize about a future where food is produced in surplus and subsidized by the government. Maybe technology solves hunger. Maybe no one worries about calories anymore. But old people don't just need food, they need care, real physical care. Someone to help them walk, someone to sit by their bed, someone to change the sheet at 3 in the morning. That's not solved by lab grown meat or cheaper electricity. That's called human work. And here's the question nobody in the Don't Die movement seems to ask: who will be the caregivers? Who will be the nurses, the aides, the sitters? People are already having fewer kids. In many countries, birth rates are collapsing. Families are shrinking. So, where do we find millions of extra hands to take care of millions of extra elderly? Robots? Maybe one day. But right now, we don't even have enough staff for nursing homes as they exist today. And if younger generations can't afford housing or don't even want children, what makes us think they'll sign up for low-paid, exhausting jobs as full-time caregivers? The math just doesn't add up. Immortality might be a dream for the wealthy, but for the rest of us, it sounds more like an endless shortage of hands and hearts. Right now, the baby boomer generation owns almost all the property. They bought houses when real estate was cheap, and over their lifetime, those homes went up in value 30 times. Meanwhile, wages, they've barely tripled in nominal terms. Do the math. That's not growth, that's a wall. So where will the younger generations live if the older ones never move out, never downsize, never pass anything on? The only reason housing markets even work now is because eventually people die, and property changes hands. If death disappears, so does mobility. The houses stay locked with the same owners forever. Picture it. Millennials and Zoomers paying endless rent in micro-apartments, while the same suburban homes are occupied by people who bought them for the price of a year's salary back in the 70s. And now those owners plan to live forever, guarded by medicine and money. Immortality doesn't just freeze lives, it freezes economies. And for anyone born too late, it means being permanently shut out of ownership, permanently priced out of stability. So that's what it comes down to. The whole idea of immortality is already doomed to become just another privilege for the rich, built on the backs of the poor. The wealthy will buy decades, maybe centuries, of extra life, paying for advanced treatments, gene editing, organ replacements, custom nutrition, full-time caregivers. And the rest? The rest will keep working longer, saving less, paying higher rents, and wondering why "don't die" sounds like a promise for some and a sentence for others. Immortality in capitalism doesn't mean freedom. It means an endless extension of inequality. A world where the same people who already own the houses, the assets, the companies also own time itself. For everyone else, it's not "don't die", it's "don't rest, don't quit, don't stop paying". And maybe that's the real irony of the whole conversation. We dream of not dying, but most of us haven't even figured out how to live. We extend the number of years on paper, but we don't extend meaning, dignity, or balance. If we can't handle a normal human lifespan without burning out, what exactly are we planning to do with an extra 50 or 100 years? Scroll more feeds? Work more shifts? I'm a millennial and I already feel tired some days, not of life itself, but of this system that keeps asking for more while giving back less. So when I hear promises of immortality, I don't imagine freedom. I imagine another contract, another subscription, another upgrade that never really ends. Maybe the future isn't about refusing to die. Maybe it's about refusing to live someone else's vision of forever. Building smaller, saner lives. Building communities that last longer than platforms. Learning to step out of the algorithm, even if we can't step out of time. Immortality might be science obsession, but survival, real human survival, with a little joy in it, is still our job. We keep talking about adding years, but we don't talk about what those years will do to the culture. Endings make room, people retire, projects wrap, houses change hands. That turnover is how new ideas get air. Take endings away, and you don't just stretch life, you freeze the playlist. The same owners, the same boards, the same tastes, forever. There's also the risk budget problem. The longer you plan to live, the less risk you are willing to take. If you expect 150 years, you'll choose the safest investment, the safest jobs, the safest politics. Multiply that across a whole society and innovation slows to a careful crawl. Don't die quietly becomes don't try. Time gets weird too. Skills now expire faster than lifespans grow. The half-life of knowledge is shrinking. If living longer just means constantly retraining to stay employable, that's not freedom. That's an infinite treadmill. Then there's data. In a health span economy, your most valuable asset won't be real estate. It will be your biometrics. Who owns that stream? Your doctor? Your insurer? Your employer? Imagine being denied a loan because your wearable says you slept badly for a month. Immortality would have terms and conditions, and they'd be written by people who monetize data. And if life becomes maintained, not lived, we create a body as subscription world. Monthly fees for drugs, sensors, upgrades. Miss a payment and you don't lose a movie library, you lose function. That's not a future, that's a paywall on our own biology. Politically, a near-immortal electorate means permanent incumbency. The older you are, the more you vote, and if older never ends, policies shift toward protecting accumulated capital, not building futures. It's not a conspiracy, it's arithmetic. Emotionally, the promise of forever kills urgency. Art needs deadlines, love needs stakes, work needs the courage to ship. When time feels endless, we drift. We optimize instead of creating, measure instead of feeling, track instead of living. I don't know if the world will give us longer lives. I do know we can build happier ones, not endless, just ours. Think about it. Just think about it.